Welcome to TTI. Welcome to a whole new world of flying cars. People have always dreamt of flying. To make that dream possible, they've come up with the most unbelievable inventions. As we know, flying cars didn't appear overnight. Different prototypes of flying machines have been created and improved over the years, and they continue to do so. In this video, you will see the evolution of some of these flying cars.
Number 10.
Curtiss Autoplane. If you think that flying cars are a thing these days, you need to know that they've been in the news for quite a while, as they started to be real in the early 1900s. The Curtiss Autoplane is considered the first flying car in the world. It was manufactured in the year 1970 and unveiled at the New York Pan American Exposition by the aviator named Glenn Curtiss. The model consisted of an enclosed body with plastic windows. It could be driven by a propeller powered by a 100-horsepower Curtiss OXX engine using shafts and belts. A special feature about the Autoplane was that it was equipped with detachable wings. This car, which was named the Aerial Limousine, had enough room to accommodate the pilot and 2 passengers. It also features a heater and works on a 4-wheel chassis. It was 87 feet long with a 40 feet wingspan. It could reach a maximum speed of 105 kilometers per hour. It's a shame that the execution of this prototype was interrupted by the beginning of the First World War.
Number 9.
The Tampere Rotable. The Tampere Rotable was a biplane and was exhibited for the first time at the Paris Air Salon in the year 1920. Reine Tampere, a French inventor, flew it in the show for a short period of time. Tampere built it and had the intention of marketing it to the French military. The Rotable had 2 engines, a 220-kilowatt Hispano-Suiza 8-feet water-cooled V8 engine to fly, and a 7.5-kilowatt 4-cylinder ancillary engine to go on the road. The wings were removable to park the vehicle in a garage. It also featured lightweight components and the steering connection for the wheels. It could be tucked in for less drag in the air. After the show at the Paris Salon, Tampere drove it around Paris for 2 hours, reaching a speed of 15 meters per hour. This biplane was 8.5 meters long, with a 13-meter wingspan. It was 2.8 meters high and weighed 1.3 tons.
Number 8.
Fulton Airphibian. 24 years after the invention of the Tampere Rotable, the American architect and inventor Robert Edison Fulton Jr. designed this rotable aircraft in 1945. The vehicle had space for only 2 people. It featured an aluminum body with independent suspension, removable wings, and a tail. It was also equipped with 4 aircraft-sized wheels and a 6-cylinder 165-horsepower engine. Although it was intended more as a rotable aircraft rather than a flying car, the concept was approved by the Civil Aviation Administration, and the Airphibian could fly successfully. Charles Lindbergh even piloted it. An unfortunate fact is that the Tampere never attracted investors due to the inherent compromises of air and car technologies and financial difficulties. Therefore, Fulton never built a production version. It could reach a maximum speed of 120 miles per hour in the air and 50 miles per hour on the ground. In the later years, it was used in one of the James Bond movies.
Number 7.
Convair car. This flying car was manufactured in 1947 by the famous Swiss industrial designer Henry Dreyfuss. It consisted of a fiberglass car body with space for 4 seats, attached with a wing and engine module to the roof. It had a 190-horsepower Lycoming aircraft engine to fly and a small Crossley 25-horsepower engine for the road. The wing and aircraft engine module could be removed and towed behind the car. The Convair car had a 35-foot wingspan. Unfortunately, it was never put on the market because when it was being tested in the air, it crashed and the pilot died.
Number 6.
Taylor Aerocar. The American engineer Moulton Taylor was inspired by the early detachable wing amphibian to make this two-seater flying vehicle, the Aerocar, in 1949. Most parts of this interesting vehicle, such as the frame, wings, tail, and ailerons, were made of aluminum to make it light. In addition, the fuselage was covered in fiberglass panels. The Aerocar was also equipped with a steering wheel, a hand throttle, and a single 150 horsepower Lycoming engine that powered a removable pusher propeller. The wings, which could be folded back in 5 minutes, had a wingspan of 34 feet. The design was quite sporty, stable, and pleasant to fly. It was 21 feet long, could go 60 miles per hour on the road, and could fly 117 miles per hour. The altitude this model could reach was limited to 12,000 feet, and it cost between $10,000 and $25,000.
Number 5.
Autoplane. The autoplane was an idea of Leland Dewey Bryan, a Buick technician at General Motors Milford Proving Grounds, in the year 1953. He started to create the first of 3 versions of this folding wing airplane with a fuselage frame made of welded steel. It was powered by a 40 horsepower Continental engine with a pusher propeller configuration. The propeller, which was also the power source for the autoplane on the road, was protected by a cage formed by the wings when they were folded. The 3 versions had a wingspan of just 22 feet. Bryan tested the first and second version more than 1,000 miles, reaching a speed of 60 miles per hour. However, when he was testing the 3rd version in 1974, he crashed it and died. According to reports, the accident happened because a warning light did not alert Bryan that one wing had not been locked in place for flight.
Number 4.
Mizar Flying Pinto. This was a hybrid between a car and an airplane invented by Henry Smolinski. This roadable aircraft was manufactured by Advanced Vehicle Engineers of Van Nuys in Los Angeles, California between 1971 and 1973. The design consisted of a Cessna Skymaster wing and a 210 horsepower engine assembly attached to a Ford Pinto. The Cessna parts were removable, but the Mizar had no provision for towing the plane parts behind the Ford Pinto when it was on the road. This vehicle had space for 1 pilot and 3 passengers, was also equipped with functional technology such as airspeed gauge, a directional gyroscope, a radio navigational equipment, and an altimeter. It was 8.5 meters long with a 11.58 meter wingspan. The entire Mizar was intended for production and expected to sell for less than $19,000. But design Henry Smolinski and pilot Harold Blake died in a test flight crash. Such a tragedy.
Number 3.
The Penaos Esperante. Jesse James, a motorcycle builder, created this airborne vehicle to perform stunts on his reality show, Monster Garage, in 2006. He tore out the interior of a Penaos Esperante car to make room for a roll cage. He attached handmade wings, a rear tail, and a propeller engine. He then took the creation to an airstrip to test it near Kitty Hawk, North Carolina. The vehicle flew in a straight line and then hit the ground as the Wright brothers' plane did. In the first test flight, James could get the 305 horsepower Ford V8 powered Esperante airborne on the runway after hitting a speed of 80 miles per hour. This car flew in just 3 seconds, which translates to about 350 feet of airborne distance. That distance was 3 times farther than the distance flown by the Wright brothers 108 years ago.
Number 2.
The Mahler Sky Car. The Mahler Sky Car was developed by the Canadian engineer Paul Muller. This vehicle was in testing for some decades, since 1967. Now it's marketed as the 5th generation of vertical takeoff and landing aircrafts. Though it's basically a small vehicle, but it had enough space to accommodate 4 passengers. Its compact size allowed it to run on the roads at a low speed for short distances. But in the air, it shows its real power. It can reach a speed between 400 and 500 kilometers per hour when it's flying. The Sky Car was using 4 rotopower turbine engines for lift and propulsion. It was also equipped with short wings. It was 6.5 meters long and had a landing footprint of 10.7 meters. It had a payload of 377 kilograms. It's noteworthy to know that the Skycar used ethanol as fuel. Its price was $500,000 for a prototype.
Number 1.
Terrafugia Transition. This flying car was manufactured for the first time in 2009 by the company Terrafugia. However, like many similar projects, it seemed at times like this vehicle would never fly. Now the manufacturers claim to finally be ready to put the transition into production in 2019. It happens to be the first street-legal airplane. Its compact size gives it the possibility to be parked in any garage. It's equipped with folding wings that can be stowed and deployed electrically and a big twin tail. The company promises new improvements for this two-seater vehicle. These improvements include a new gasoline-electric hybrid powertrain, which delivers a 400-mile range and a top speed of 100 miles per hour, comfortable interior, upgraded seatbelts and airbags, 3 rear-view cameras in road-going mode, and a parachute system. It's noteworthy that the transition can reach the height of 9,000 feet that allows it to fly easily above traffic on the road. Thanks for watching! Subscribe now and click the notification bell icon for early updates. I'll see you guys in my next video. Peace! Bye-bye now!